Hi, I'm Manny. I'm here with DRIcore talking SmartWall. Why DRIcore SmartWall? The basement is a unique space, and it's a demanding environment to finish. Unlike the rest of your house, the basement sits below ground level and is surrounded by soil that remains cold and wet. When traditionally finishing a basement, this can pose many problems. However, by applying some basic building science to the design process, the basement can be safely finished. That's why choosing the right finishing materials for your basement is a crucial step towards creating a safe and healthy living environment for years to come. SmartWall is a high-performance, prefabricated wall panel designed specifically for basement finishing. Taking everything we know about building science, SmartWall has been developed to withstand the unique ecosystem of a basement environment, and it is used anywhere concrete walls are present. DRIcore SmartWall incorporates rigid foam insulation that has been infused with graphite, meaning the cold never meets the warm side of the room, therefore greatly reducing the potential for condensation. SmartWall is a panelized system. Each panel is 23 inches wide, and it comes in a standard 8 or 10-foot lengths. Panels can be cut to fit any desired ceiling height or basement layout. When finished, SmartWall will look like every other wall in your home, and it can be painted to suit your tastes. DRIcore SmartWall has been developed with one goal in mind: to offer the smartest product available for residential basement finishing. And it's backed by building science. Time for me to get to work. Tools required: 2-inch and 6-inch drywall trowels, handsaw, drill, and drill bit, 2 sawhorses or stands, chalk line, plumb line, level, tape measure, wood shims, 4-inch hole saw if needed, and safety goggles. Materials required: SmartWall panels, DRIcore Patch Pro, 2x2 dimensional lumber, 5-inch screws, 2.5-inch screws, electrical wire, plugs and switches, polyethylene for vapor barrier tie-in if required. To calculate how many panels you need, you take the linear footage of the installation area and you divide it by 1.8. This formula takes into account cuts and wastes. Determine how many electrical outlet and light switch panels you will require. If you are installing a DRIcore subfloor, do this first and then install SmartWall on top. Step 1. Installing 2x2 cleating. Install the 2x2 cleating material around the room. Now, I'm going to measure a 1/2 inch away from our foundation concrete because concrete is never absolutely perfect plumb. So I'm going to give myself 1/2 inch and then I'm going to measure another 1.5 inches. That's giving us 2 inches. From 2 inches, I'm going to put a mark and then I'm going to drop that down with a plumb line. So get my mark down there for my bottom cleat. We're going to measure 2 5/8, and that's going to be the back of the bottom cleat. So that's how things are going to begin. Start at the floor joists that make up your basement ceiling, attaching the 2x2 cleats using 2.5-inch number 8 wood screws. Start with the cleats that run perpendicular to your floor joists. The top cleats may be installed touching in the corners. Once all the top cleats are installed, drop a plumb line from each end of each wall from the inside edge of the cleat and mark the floor surface. What I've done is I've taken the plumb line, dropped my line from the face of the top cleat, and then I measured out 2 5/8 from that line, placed the bottom 2x2 cleat with the back edge up to the chalk line. So now I'm ready to actually put the panels inside. Leave a 2-inch space at each bottom corner. Make sure you level the cleats using wood shims if needed, since almost all basement floors will slope towards the floor drain area, and level cleats will ensure that the wire channels align perfectly. Step 2, installing panels. Always start from the left side of your longest wall. Measure the top of the panel, not the bottom, when you want to cut. Cut the top of the panel to size, never cut from the bottom. Loosely secure the panel using 2.5-inch screws at each bottom corner and 5-inch screws at each top corner. You will fully tighten these screws after the next panel is in place. Ensure the screws penetrate through the OSB framing and into the 2x2 lumber cleat. Once the first panel is installed, cut the next panel to length. Align the tongue of the first panel with the groove of the second panel and push the second panel tightly against the first panel. Once the 2 panels are tightly fitted together, now tighten the screws on the first panel. Repeat for the third panel, and after it is tightly fitted against the second panel, then tighten the screws on the second panel. This makes fitting the panels together much easier. Repeat this sequence for the remaining panels as you work around the room. Use wall plug and light switch panels as needed. Continue this process until you have reached the end of the wall. Cut the last panel to width. Step 3, inside corners. Test fit the panel in the corner to ensure that both the wall you just finished and the wall you're about to start are plumb. If the inside corner joint is tight, then place a bead of PL premium adhesive along the length of the foam of the panel you're about to install. Carefully slide this panel into place and then fasten with 4 screws, 1 in each corner. Windows. Determine the dimensions and the location of the window box required. Mark the dimensions on the surface of the SmartWall panels. Add an additional 2¼ inches to the width and the height of the opening to allow for a plywood window extension and for any minor adjustments. Make sure the opening is centered with the actual window. Cut your opening in the SmartWall panels with a handsaw and install the panels as normal. You are now ready to build a rough frame from 5/8 plywood and install it into the opening. Step 4, outside corners. When building an outside corner, you want to cut back the foam 3 3/4 inch right to the drywall. That's going to allow for you to fit the adjacent piece. Once ready, put a thick bead of PL Premium on the back side of the drywall where you just removed the foam, about 2 inches in from the edge. Before you put them together, you want to put a bead of PL on both sides, squeeze them together, add a few drywall screws to hold it in place, and that's how you build an outside corner. Self-adhesive corner beads, and we're going bullnose with these guys. Step 5, electrical wiring. Once your wall system is completely installed, you can rough in your wiring. There's 2 ways to fish wire through these panels. They've got 3 horizontal channels, so I fish it through here as I'm installing each of the panels. I've got the panel, I take the wire, and I just fish it right through. And I get it into position, and it's into the tongue. Take the next panel. You grab the wire, and you just fish it through. That was easy. Otherwise, the wiring can be run after all SmartWall panels are installed by using a wire fish. A licensed electrician can install the wiring after SmartWall has been installed. Step 6, finishing. To achieve a perfect seamless finish with DRIcore SmartWall, use DRIcore Patch Pro to fill and smooth panel seams. DRIcore Patch Pro is crack resistant and sands to a smooth, hard finish ready for priming or painting. Time to do a little bit of finishing. So it's not like the traditional way of doing plastering. You want to use a 3 to 4 inch putty knife. You want to squeeze it right into the micro edge, nice and tight, and then you want to squeeze off the access. That's it. That's all you got to do. Let that dry for 24 hours. Okay, I'm just applying the second coat of Patch Pro. You're doing it the same way as the first coat. And you just scrape off the excess, and third coat's going to be the same way with a light sand. No fuss, no muss. Ready for priming, painting, and any color you like.